This is Paul Turner, the immigration barrister at Imperium Chambers. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button for up-to-date videos. If you have an immigration problem, please get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help you. Today, following on from the last video, I thought I would take a little look at Rishi Sunak's 5-point plan to tackle the asylum backlog and whether it will work or not. What I would say at the outset is that matters are likely to become harder for anyone to make an application, and possibly rights of appeal are likely to be restricted in any sort of changes. So if you are thinking of making an application or you don't have leave, you would be well advised to seek advice from either me or another reputable lawyer as soon as possible. The Prime Minister unveiled his new 5-point plan for how he hopes to tackle the ever-growing asylum backlog. I think it's about 140,000 people, and pledges to clear the backlog by the end of next year. In my view, there's no chance of that happening, but we'll see. It is to be remembered, of course, that of all the asylum seekers that come here, 75% are successful. So why demonising asylum seekers is so relevant is beyond me. Well, not really. It's just, in my view, a way of pandering to the right wing and hoping that the Tories do not lose the election so badly, given the various problems the UK faces, other than 70,000 asylum seekers. Migrant bashing seems to play well to the right wing, yet despite this, the Home Office and courts have been starved of proper funding to do their job, and then this is blamed on the migrants. It would be amusing if it was not so tragic. I've gone often to Taylor House to find that there are 3 courts sitting instead of 27. Thankfully now money has been allocated. This is probably due to the fact that people were complaining about the backlog. What I would say is, again, and I cannot stress it enough, if these new policies come into place, they are going to cause big problems. So if you are thinking of making a claim, make it now. Anyway, let's look at his plans. First, he announced there will be a new unified small boats command that will use technology to identify small boats. The Prime Minister also gives that he would like to prosecute more small boat pilots and cites the system currently in place is far too fragmented. Well, that just means another level of bureaucracy, more cost, and I'm not sure it's actually going to work. Secondly, the government intends to carry out more raids on homes known to be harbouring illegal migrants. They will undoubtedly ramp up raids in the lead up to the election and after the holiday period. Now this is something of massive concern, because if you are detained it's very difficult to actually make a claim. In addition, Sunak also says that he intends it make it harder for an asylum seeker to set up a bank account as more data is to be shared with banks with the Home Office. Again, this is a concern about data sharing. Thirdly, the Prime Minister also plans on halving the £5.5 million spent on housing migrants in hotels and cities. This will be done by housing migrants in former student halls, disused holiday parks and surplus military sites. Now, that seems to be quite stupid in my view, or let's put it this way, it hasn't proved to be a success in the past, given the problems at Napier Barracks and Manston, to name but a few of the previous places where people were put, which turned out not to be fit for purpose. The fourth point in the Great Plan is to start processing asylum claims in a matter of days or weeks, and provides that this will be effected by doubling asylum caseworkers and slashing the amount of paperwork and interviews. Well, that's a big aspiration and it's a big ask, and I don't think it's going to really happen. If they're going to start slashing everything, how are they going to make proper decisions? This will apparently aid the government's attempt to clear the asylum backlog by the end of the year. However, what in reality this will do is lead to probably very poor decisions, a greater abuse of authority and more appeals. And while it is easy to say that cases will be dealt with quickly, this will involve yet more money for the Home Office. And at present the government is a little pressed on the money front. Finally, and turning to his favourite topic, Mr Sunak informs us that the Albanian Prime Minister has given his knowledge that there is no reason why Albanian migrants travelling to the UK illegally cannot be returned immediately, and has further said that the UK should follow other European nations in rejecting claims from Albania, even though there are many people trafficked from there. Supposedly people will only be able to claim if they are victims of modern slavery if there is concrete evidence of this, not just a suspicion of it. which of course is going to be hard to prove, if at all possible. It's hard to see a slave master coming forward and saying, yes, I've got slaves. This is given as a measure that would lead to the vast majority of claims from Albania being declared as unfounded. This would lead to any Albanian making a protection claim to have to start from a place of disadvantage and like to have their claim refused without a right of appeal, which would lead to judicial review. Why the government have picked on Albanians is something I'm going to turn to in another video, but it seems that Albanian bashing is a popular hobby, even though the majority of people that claim asylum from Albania do actually succeed. So again, it's not a case where there's only 2 or 3% that succeed, more than half succeed. Will any of these promises deal with the asylum backlog by the end of this year? Will I be talking to you at the beginning of 2024 saying that they've cleared the backlog of the 150,000 cases? I very much doubt it. Well, let's put it this way, I wouldn't bet very much money on it. But then again, I may be wrong if the government funds everything properly. In short, his 5-point proposal sounds like a load of right-wing puff. A unified small boats patrol. I mean, it's going to be the Her Majesty's Migrant Patrol Service. Are they going to have special ships, or are they going to wheel out Priti Patel's jet skis? Who knows? But in reality, in my view, the Prime Minister would be better sorting out the problems facing the United Kingdom, such as the cost of living crisis, the fact that the NHS is in turmoil and struggling, the fact that the ambulance service is collapsing, and the issue of strikes are ongoing. There's clearly bigger problems than 77,000 asylum seekers, of whom 75% are genuine. But of course, these people don't vote, and they certainly don't vote in the Red Wall constituency to whom Rishi Sunak seems to pander. As I said at the beginning, if you have an immigration problem or you'd like further advice, then please contact me. Please do not sit on your case until you are detained, which is always the worst thing to happen, because it can make matters much more complicated. You may not have a case, you may have a case, but the one thing you can do is seek legal advice, and that will clarify the position. I hope you've enjoyed watching this short video. Please subscribe to my channel, do stay safe, and once again, this is Paul Turner, Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.